Russian President Vladimir Putin just got hit with something he didn't see coming. And it's not a battlefield defeat or a drone strike. It's a massive new missile shipment approved by the United States that's heading straight into the hands of Ukrainian forces. This new transfer includes over 200 missiles, among them 100 Patriot air defense missiles and 125 long-range artillery rockets, potentially even ATACMS, one of the most advanced precision missiles in the U.S. arsenal. While many thought U.S. support for Ukraine would weaken under President Trump's return to office, this development proves otherwise. So why is this shipment such a big deal? What makes these missiles so dangerous for Russia? And how is the U.S. still in control, even when the weapons come from Europe? Let's break it all down. The surprise delivery. On May 11th, respected Ukrainian outlets like United 24 Media and the Kyiv Independent confirmed that the U.S. had quietly approved the transfer of more than 200 U.S.-made missiles to Ukraine. But here's the twist. The missiles aren't coming directly from American stockpiles. Instead, they're being sent from Germany, which owns the missiles. But because the weapons were made in the U.S., Washington still had to approve the transfer. Why? Because of strict U.S. laws and international agreements designed to prevent missile technology from being resold or misused, even by allies. This is a part of a much bigger system called the Missile Technology Control Regime, or MTCR. What is the MTCR? The MTCR is an agreement between 35 countries, including members of the G7 and partners like India, created to limit the spread of missile systems, especially those that can carry nuclear warheads. Under the MTCR, Category 1 weapons, like long-range ballistic missiles and certain drones, are heavily restricted. Even re-exporting these systems requires U.S. approval. That means if Germany or any other country wants to send U.S.-made missiles like ATACMS or Patriots to a third country like Ukraine, they need a green light from Washington, and that's exactly what just happened. What missiles is Ukraine getting? So what's in the package? 100 Patriot interceptor missiles, which are designed to shoot down incoming enemy missiles, drones, and aircraft. 125 long-range artillery rockets, which could be either GMLRS or even ATACMS, although the exact type hasn't been confirmed. Let's start with GMLRS, short for Guided Multiple Launch Rocket System. These are fired from HIMARS, the same truck-mounted systems Ukraine has been using for high-precision strikes. GMLRS has a range of around 56 miles and is excellent for hitting Russian logistics, artillery, and troop concentrations. But the real story here might be the possible inclusion of ATACMS, the Army Tactical Missile System. Why ATACMS scares Putin. ATACMS is what military analysts call a short-range ballistic missile, but don't be fooled by the name. These missiles can hit targets up to 186 miles away, depending on the variant. They travel at speeds over Mach 3, which makes them extremely hard to intercept, and each one carries a warhead weighing up to 1,300 pounds. But it's not just the range or the speed. It's the guidance system that makes them deadly. ATACMS uses both GPS and inertial navigation systems to hit targets with surgical precision, within a few meters. That means if Ukraine wants to take out a Russian airbase, command center, or ammo depot, and they know the coordinates, that target is gone. Can Ukraine use these on Russian soil? Back in 2022 and 2023, Ukraine wasn't allowed to use US-made weapons inside Russian territory, only inside Ukraine or Russian-occupied zones. But in late 2024, President Joe Biden quietly changed that policy. Why? Because Russia had escalated its strikes into Ukrainian cities. The White House decided that Ukraine had the right to respond in kind. Almost immediately, Ukraine used 6 ATACMS missiles to hit targets in Bryansk, just across the border. Russia responded with outrage, but no nuclear escalation happened. The red line? It vanished. Since then, Ukraine has continued to strike carefully chosen Russian military targets deep inside Russian territory. The Patriot missiles, Ukraine's air shield. While ATACMS handles offense, Patriot missiles handle defense. The PAC-3 variant is the most advanced version Ukraine is likely to receive. These systems use a hit-to-kill approach, meaning they destroy enemy missiles by smashing into them at Mach 5. Each launcher can carry up to 16 missiles compared to just 4 in older systems. With new Patriot systems arriving, Ukraine can now better protect critical infrastructure, including hospitals, power stations, and civilian areas. Attacks like the April 13th Sumy strike that killed 34 people might have been prevented, and now future attacks might be stopped in their tracks. Trump's role: a shift in policy? Here's where things get political. The transfer was approved during Biden's presidency, but President Trump, now in office, could have blocked it. He didn't. In fact, just days earlier, Trump approved a $310 million deal for F-16 training and support services, helping Ukraine's Air Force maintain and deploy U.S.-made fighters more effectively. This marks a possible shift. Trump is still pushing for peace negotiations, but he's also showing real support for Ukraine when it counts. Putin likely expected Washington to go soft. Instead, the U.S. is doubling down. The strategic signal to Putin. This missile transfer sends multiple messages. To Putin, you can't wait out the West. Even with leadership changes in Washington, Ukraine still has backing. To NATO, support is real. Europe is supplying missiles. The U.S. is signing off. Ukraine is not going to be left alone. To Ukraine, keep fighting. More help is on the way. Ukraine is now better defended, more capable of striking Russian targets, and, thanks to recent mineral deals and investment agreements, better positioned for a long war and the future after it. The war isn't over, but Putin's options are shrinking. So what does this mean for the war in Ukraine? More firepower, more defenses, more pressure on Russia's logistics, command centers, and missile sites. This isn't a turning point yet, but it's one of many small moments that are starting to add up. And the big takeaway? The West is still with Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin just lost one of the bets he was counting on. What do you think? Are these 200-plus missiles enough to change the course of the war? How should Ukraine use them next? And what does this say about U.S. policy under Trump? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more updates and deep dive analysis from the front lines of global conflict.